Hey guys, Nikka Mistree here. Today on episode 2 of my podcast, Dil Diyan Gallan. Look at my new sign.
Yes, I've seen the sign, guys.
So nice. Look, guys, you can change the mood I'm feeling.
I want the green one.
Alright, my
It
channel.
gives me positive vibes.
Vibes. No, this
Vibes.
no.
No, the other one, the other green.
Which one? That's teal.
Yeah, that one.
Eh?
That one.
That's not green.
I have eye problems.
Right. Okay, because Zara said.
Yeah, have to be that one because
Zara wants it to match with her clothes. So my special guest today is Zara, my sister. You might know her from my mom's channel, Reflection Family.
Yes.
But you might not know about her in depth. So today I'm going to do Dil Diyan Gallan. And Zara, just introduce yourself to the viewers.
Right. My name is Zara and I'm the eldest. I'm the eldest sister. And I don't know what else to say. Oh, by the way, I'm Isa's mum. A lot of people know Isa. You know who Isa is? I'm
That
Isa's mum. That little kid. That cute little kid. I'm her mum. And
then
I don't know. You're supposed to ask.
this is the introduction. You meant to do it by yourself.
Yeah, so I'm the eldest of the
5.
the 5 siblings. I'm always here to take care of anyone if they need anything. I'm the manager of this family. I
And
manage
the manager
them
of
all.
the YouTube.
Yes, I take care of the YouTube and I take care of all of the businesses that everyone's running. So
Yeah.
I'm the
Apart from this podcast.
which
But
is
we don't
currently under currently new at the moment, but
know. I
once
think
it
it might
gets
be getting taken over. Maybe you never
might
know.
take that over too. So guys, watch out.
Watch out, girl. Guys, that was got a kidney disease. Okay.
Astaghfirullah, guys.
That was got a kidney. Or lack of.
My kidneys don't work properly because my kidneys have been taken over by these lot.
Right. Yeah, we don't come down a kidney.
Yes.
So today's topic is gonna be social norms.
So let me just introduce that again to you guys. Sorry, Nikka Mistree. I must.
You and your
Introduce
mother
it.
think you can come and take over my show.
It just has to be done in a certain
Okay.
way, guys.
Go on.
So, basically, we have got when Nikka Mistree did the podcast with my mum,
Yeah.
and that was a huge success.
Alhamdulillah.
And everybody loved how my mum was and how Nikka Mistree is proven to be a great host.
A very good host.
And so they.
Bear with, guys.
Look at that.
Hello. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye. Promotions.
Oh, promotions. Let me have a look. What is it?
It's fun.
Mm.
They're nice. I like them.
I'll go put it in the fridge. We can't eat it yet. We have to wait.
Damn it. Right. I'll lend you a little bit on Right.
I'm moving this out of the way. You're not necessary here in my life.
What? Yes, it is. Put everything up. This is meant to be there. I'll just put it a bit lower.
Yeah, it's in my face. I don't like that. It's intimidating.
Wait,
Oh.
wait, guys.
Is this the one that you borrowed from Rahat Fateh Loan?
Yeah. He gave it me. In exchange for dum wala pani.
No comments about that one.
Here, there, yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
As Zara was saying, the last podcast was very successful and I got a lot of messages of other topics and stuff to discuss.
Yes.
So one that was quite prevalent was like the society, Pakistani society,
Yeah.
culture and the norms. So I've called the most controversial person I know to discuss that today.
And I'm about to get this channel, this person
Close.
cancelled
Innit?
today by discussing all of the things.
Right, let's begin. So, now the first question is, how should parents and families prepare their children for marriage in the future?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
So I think that families should, like not jump into when they are preparing kids to get married and stuff. First and foremost, they should tell them about Deen, because once kids know about Deen, they'll then learn the rights of their partner and rights of their own parents and rights of their in-laws and stuff.
And their own rights as well.
Yes, and their own rights, definitely. And once they are aware of these things, they'll then get to make better decisions if any problem arises in their life. Because I feel like the lack of religious knowledge, I suppose, or in general, just kids just jump into like getting married, but they don't know how to tackle problems. They look at examples within their own household. It may not be the best way to deal with situations, because often you look at like how a parent might have dealt with a situation, or an uncle or auntie, and then you're dealing with them situations the same way. But it'll be a great way to start them off with finding out about religion and stuff, and what it says, that their rights are in religion, what their spouse rights are and stuff like that. So I think that's the first thing that they should do.
Right. Okay. And then what's the next thing they should do?
And the next thing is, whether it's a boy or a girl, they need to be financially stable. It's very important. Do you agree with that?
In this day and age, maybe always, but especially now.
Yeah.
That financial stability and like self-sufficiency is very needed.
It doesn't mean to say that, like, let's say, a girl doesn't need to be working or whatever, but she needs to know that if ever comes a time that she's needed to work or to look after herself, or let's say they're in a household and the ends are not meeting and that they're struggling financially a little bit, she should be able to just and he, they should both be able to help each other in this. And that can only happen if they both have some sort of stability. With stability, I mean having some assets,
or like an education,
to fall on, having some savings, and also just having like
I think just having like the life skills,
that you can go into something if God forbid anything happens.
Right. Okay. So what life skills have you got then?
So I'll tell you about mine. So when before I got married, I graduated in law. I felt at the time it would open lots of doors for me. If I ever wanted to go into work, I could do a lot of things by graduating in that particular degree than any other at that time. So I did that. And and I'm dyslexic, so when I was doing my degree, a lot of, I don't know if the people who've done law will know that when law is one of them sort of degrees where you have to kind of memorize things and remember cases and stuff like that, which I found very challenging because of my dyslexia. But I overcame that because I asked uni to, help me with like stuff towards it. Like, for example, they gave me a scribe to write my paper. I would talk and I would tell them what to write and they would write for me. So I mean, that kind of proves that if you do have a certain disability, or you may not be able to do something, it's not the end of the world. We'll be able to get as long as to go to the right places, to be able to seek help and support. And now when we were diagnosed with dyslexia, I graduated in 2015, so it's a long time ago. and at that time not that much support was available. Even then I had got support, but I'm hoping that now it has changed and more support is available. And if anybody feels that that is something that they may be struggling with, or any it might be physical disability, it might be mental disability, but there's always support available. So don't let yourself feel like you may not be able to do something just because of a certain disability. It shouldn't hold you back. By, you know, you should be able to do what you want to do with the right support.
Okay, that's great. So
I graduated, and then I worked in various different places. I worked in surgeries as medical secretary, receptionist, call handler. I worked in banks. I worked in a lot of places. So customer services, I suppose, as a whole, customer services is something that I kind of specialised in. I worked for 10 years, over 10, 12 years I have experience. And then I got married.
Yeah.
And then
I
got married. Oh my God, I don't even remember.
I don't know. I think you're 26,
25.
Yeah.
I got married pretty much like when I graduated and stuff like that, and I worked a few years.
You were financially stable.
Skill was that, I saved up my money when I worked. I worked alongside my college when I was graduating. Obviously, I graduated, I worked. So these, to me, this is skills that I then obviously carried forward. I got married, and then I had Isa.
Just pointing at me.
When
I'm not Isa.
But I look after you like my own child.
Yeah.
So I mean, if anything, I would just pass that on. I would pass that on to my daughter. I would want her to, you know, educate herself. And now, if for example, if I was ever wanting to go back into work and do something like that, I could easily go back into, you know, because I have a lot of work experience. And I have qualifications, so I don't have to worry about it. If, let's say, I've going through a financial problem or something like that, I could go back into work. So I feel like that is nowadays, I feel like it's very important to have that skill.
Yep, definitely. So you spoke about obviously your education and that women should have some kind of education or something to like fall back on if they then need it. So what do you think about the upbringing of boys and how they should be prepared for the future?
What I've noticed in our Asian society, still the boys are not taught how to regulate their emotions and how to communicate effectively when it comes to something, having like either a problem in a relationship.
I think that so many men and boys, they kind of just taught to not say anything and just be a man. What is being a man?
Does being a man mean that you can't show your emotions, or you can't cry, or you can't? That's not being a man. We need to be able to tell our, like when our boys are very small, we tell them, oh, don't cry. Are you a girl? We shouldn't say that. They should be able to cry. So when they are grown men, and if they're feeling a certain way, they'll just cry it out and not take that out on somebody else. Somebody's daughter that's coming to the family.
And that's got a lot to do with like upbringing as well. It's not really too much with, obviously it is in society, that is the norm, but I think it starts in the home, like when they're younger, and what they see at home as well. But like that's something that you meant to embed in your kids when they're little, how to communicate and how to be emotional, especially in boys, and like be able to share stuff. I feel like that's where the problem starts.
Yeah, I think with our society, I feel like we just pressurize the boys into, like, when they're little, we just pressurize them to kind of man up, and if he's not going to know how to talk about his emotions, if he can't sit down and communicate with anybody, how is he going to know how to speak to his wife, How is he going to know how to talk to his mother? How is he going to, like, how will he know that and how to, like, communicate properly if he can't even regulate his own emotions, because we are sat here judging them when they're doing that. Like, if you go into somebody's house and, like, let's say someone's husband is cleaning up or something, we automatically put him in, like, a category, and we'll be like, oh, you know, I don't know what category, but, like, we do know.
Yeah,
like,
you're
it's
like,
just
oh,
what,
look at him, he's
we're like,
cleaning
look
up.
at him, like, you know, he's...
Well, we don't say that, but
we don't say, but, like, people will
I say
say,
that's
like...
very good that he's cleaning up.
Yeah, like, if we go to someone's house, we'll always say, oh my god, that's
He's
really good,
helping
he's
her,
helping,
yeah.
we'll say he's helping. But, like, people will go to someone's house and see the
No, why is
man
he being a
doing
girl?
something, and it'll always be like, oh, why is he doing that? We automatically, in our brains, we've got categories for each individual, like, and if the woman, like, let's say she's a little bit outspoken, I suppose, a little bit outspoken, or, like, she's very opinionated and she can have she intellectually very, like, switched on and stuff like that, we tend to just give her a, like, a, what you call it, we give her a name and we'll say, oh,
It's like a stereotype.
yeah, we'll just stereotype. And I feel that's what goes in the South Asian community. A lot of that goes on, and that is what doesn't let relationships, like, thrive in a way, because people are always looking around them and trying to please others. They don't think about what they want. It's what other people are going to think.
Yeah. So I think as women should be taught how to be educated and how to fend for themselves if they need to.
If they need to, yeah.
And men should also be taught how to look after themselves if they need to, but also how to, like, give emotional support. I mean, like, a lot of stuff in relationships today, like, because of the communication problems, they can't even, like, confide in each other, or, like, they can't even, like, find comfort in each other.
Of course,
and that's how, like, your relationship just turns cold, because, like, he's just working, she's just doing that, whatever. Like, they need to be able to have that communication between them.
I mean, nowadays you'll have a lot of relationships that come to an end or break. It's because people have communication problems. And, like, often you'll hear our, like, elders, they always give that example in, like, oh, but asa ta itna time, asa ta bolne aana sa jane aane samne, that right there is basically that's the problem. You know why? Because first of all, that time is gone now, right? Because them times nobody ever looked at what they wanted. They were always trying to please others. They were like, oh, mari chachi ke sochi, because oftentimes they were married to relatives, right? So they weren't just trying to, like, keep that relationship happy. They were basically trying to run a whole family, and they had the whole handan. Like when my mum said to you guys that time, these are on my back or something. Zara's, it's literally, they had the whole handan on their back, and they were constantly looked at on whether they wanted to make these example marriages, like, oh, tu na bolya kar usne samne, oh, uski gussa chali jana, stuff like that. Or they'll say to the man, often it's not only women, it's just men as well. Sometimes they'll say to the man, like, oh, tu, thodi zuban nahi tez hai, tu chup kari ja. But why have we been taught to do that rather than, what, let's find out, usni kya problem hai, can we find out, can we sit down, can we have a talk, can we do that? They want, because
they
come
tell you
from
to shut up, like, they
tell you to suppress, like,
the problem.
It's with men and women. It's not just women, it's men as well.
Majority
They'll just tell you to suppress. This is our Asian culture, where we tell everyone if there's a marriage problem or if there's any problem in general, they don't want you to tell anybody else. They want you to suppress it. Then they'll remember Islam. They won't remember it any other time. When unjust is happening to you, they won't remember Islam. When somebody's taken your haq, they won't remember Islam. But the minute you have an issue, everybody will remember, oh, but Islam says this. Oh, but Islam also says that the Prophet peace be upon him used to help his wives in the kitchen. Islam also teaches you that, you know, when Mullah Ali and Bibi Fatima Zahra had a disagreement, that they didn't argue, and that Mullah Ali left and went to the mosque. It just teaches you that, you know, to kind of change your behavior in a way, just to make sure that at that particular time you're not getting into heated arguments and stuff like that. Our society doesn't teach us that. Religion does, but they'll never use religion in a right way. They'll always use it when it's to benefit them.
To fit their narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like, they use it more in like a scaring way.
Yeah.
Like, to force you to do something and be like, oh, because Islam says you have to do this and that's why you have to do it. But like, they don't use it to comfort you and be like, oh, don't worry, you know, if you're having the struggles at home, this happened and in the Prophet's time or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like,
of course.
you've been given all this to guide you, then why are you only picking and choosing to use it when it's beneficial?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like when we were just saying that, or when we go to somebody's house and somebody's doing Hoover, like, never once will you hear some, like, you know, hala or someone walking in like, "Ay putra, tu itna suna, sunnat hai, Nabi Pak ni sunnat hai apni wife ki help karna." They'll never say that.
yeah.
They'll say, "Kya karna tu, jananiyan ne kaam karna hai, takda apne aap hai ki is tarah kari na, tada pyo karna si, tu karan shuru ho gaya." This is what the problem is in our society. They don't have that, you know, first of all, they give the worst advice. Don't ever think that, you know, they always say that the older they are, you know, people are not wise. Nowadays, I feel like the kids are very much switched on. They know what they want. Everything is very clear. Back then times, I feel like they come from a generation, the older generation. They're from a generation where they made excuses for each other.
Yeah.
Have you heard these sayings like, you know, "Oh, jile pair la sota to sonin, is it mommy par kars charna" or something?
Yeah, don't shake your leg, don't do this.
Stuff. It's like there was excuse. None of these things are true, but there was an excuse for things. So the same goes for the marriage relationships. If the man was a bit not nice to the wife, they'll have an excuse to say, "Oh, I think it's the wife's fault. I think something's wrong with her." Innit?
Yeah.
Like if somebody's not had any kids.
Oh, yes.
That is the worst.
Yeah.
Like how they treat
It's
that
so
person. Rude. If someone's not having kids,
they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the man should go marry someone else."
Yeah, they'll be the first to advise that, and they'll always like intimidate them and make them feel bad. Or say, "Allah ni marzi na, to sane bacche koi nahi." But could it not be Allah ni marzi? Like, let's say somebody's had like 5 kids. Isn't that Allah ni marzi? That Allah wants to give them more kids. It's clear. It's in clear words in the Quran that I will give. You know, I give olad. I give boys, girls. I give some people no olad and some people olad. Like, it's very clear that these things are mentioned, but you'll never see them talking about religion when it comes to you're right.
Yeah.
When it comes to comforting somebody.
Yeah, they never give religious comfort. Like, that's, your religion is there for all times, like good times, bad times. But these are like, "Oh, yeah, now you've done this. If you don't speak to someone for 3 days, then you're a kafir." Like,
but that only applies because to like relatives that literally are ready to kill you. You know, like, if you go to them...
"Oh, wait, I got something." Or when they're like, "If you cut your parents off, then you're going to hell, this, that. If you cut your family off, then this is going to happen." But does it not tell you that the family is meant to fill these roles as well? That you shouldn't hit your kids, you shouldn't do this, that. You shouldn't, you know, speak to them rudely, whatever. No, but if you want to stop speaking to them, then...
That's it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, I feel like... I think this discussion we had, you know, that how come our society doesn't follow what the religious obligations are.
Yeah.
It's because they've brought up in like this time. I don't even think I can blame time.
You can't even justify it. Basically what we were talking about
justify.
Was, like, there was this scenario that happened, and I was just telling Zara about it. It was like, there's this girl, she was cut out of her family's inheritance. Like her dad died, and all the properties and everything went to her brothers, and she was asking for like her share, and they were like, "Oh, you're being greedy, and it's not for you. It's the boys only. This, that, whatever," and they all cut her off. And then I was like, "Don't you think that's wrong? Because Islamically, she does have a right.
Yeah.
Culturally, they think that the girl doesn't get a right." And then I was saying like, where did this culture come from that women are below, or like, you know, you should do that to your kids or whatever? If you've always had the Quran to follow, you've always had this religion, where has this culture come? Like, who made that? I just don't understand it. How have cultures been created? Like, then they say, you know, there's this argument, oh, it's religion or it's culture, and like, where did culture come from, and how did they adapt the religious text to suit this culture when there's never been that way? Like, for example, oh, women are slaves and this, that, and you know, beat them and that. It's okay to hit your wife. Pakistani culture and Asian culture says, yeah, it's alright, that's the norm. Where did they get that from?
Basically, there's a justification religiously for everything. However, in culturally, there isn't. But you know what the justification they're going to give you is, oh, but we did it. Why can't you? I feel like that's all, isn't it? Always like,
but why did they do it? Why did
they did it because they had no other choice but to make it work. If you not read the quote that we came from a generation where if something broke, you'd fix it, then throwing it away. But we're from a generation where you throw it away, where there's, you know, you can purchase another one, you can buy something else. It's just emotionally, I feel like people are just. They've had it up to here now with like everything.
Yeah, but this one, another thing I think is like now obviously like divorce rates are so high.
Yeah.
Especially most of it is like, and maybe not most, but a lot of it is like a women initiated divorce where women are just had enough.
Yeah.
And they're like whatever. Whereas like back in their mom's time, their mom might have tolerated that same thing, but it's like women are like becoming more educated on what their actual rights are and what is and, like, they should tolerate.
And then a lot of the times it is like they will bring it back to like, you know, Islam, and they will say, no, I'm sorry, but this is not what you've told us may be incorrect, and you know, this is what the women's rights are. Like, for example, women's right to seek divorce, khula's looked down upon like so badly.
Obviously, it's not good.
It's not good. Nobody does. Even I feel like with the divorce that's given from man's side is something that's not wanted. At the end of the day,
but it is an option. It's always been there.
So the option has always been there, and we've always kind of given that man that comfort, like, oh, it's okay. If it doesn't work out, there's divorce. But why isn't a woman given the same option when she actually has something called khula? She can seek khula from her side. But we've never really talked about that because we don't like to give women the open choices and to be able to do things in a manner that might be, you know,
that's going to benefit them
in a way. Like, I suppose if somebody's in a toxic marriage or somebody's in an abusive marriage, for instance, her way out could mean that it might save her life, or her being in that marriage means that she could die, or it could, you know, and if it's a choice between life and death, why are we not educating women about that? Why are we not telling them that this is the option that's available for them?
Yeah, and like all the toxicity and stuff is so normalized, like, or being abused and being like cheated on and stuff like that. But it never said that was okay in our religion. But why is it okay in our culture? And why is it something that you should just allow it? Or it happens in every marriage where your mum will be like, oh, I got hit too, it's alright.
Yeah, it's often like, I feel like in the Asian society,
and the aunties like, why are you not getting hit? You should be getting hit. I saw you them on this, and like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I saw you and they'll give like the most weirdest example.
Disgusting like, example, and they're proper proud of it.
And it's like they're proper proud of it. It's like, how are you?
I loved it.
And it's like, how are you giving this example? Like, you know, nowadays if somebody gets divorced, we always we always blame it on the not we. You know, when I say we, I mean
the society.
The society nowadays society. I don't mean we don't.
Yeah,
Guys,
but
we are the
someone
last
gets
people
divorced.
to judge anyone.
If someone gets divorced, they're like, oh, what did she do?
Or what did she... They'll never say, oh, what did he do? They'll never...
Yeah.
That won't come out of their mouth.
I'll be
They'll
like,
never
oh, I
say.
slapped her every day, but she slapped me back and I divorced her. Oh, why did she slap you back?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, well, she shouldn't... She was asking for it. It's like, it's always the she. But you know why that is? It's because we've never told the he's to take accountability for their actions.
yeah.
So, for example, let me give you a little example. So, you know, if, for example, a little child, like a 2-year-old, he breaks something, we call him over and we'll be like, why did you break that? And he'll then explain, oh, sorry, you know, blah, blah, this is what's happened. And then he'll apologize, he'll cry a little bit, but he'll feel like he's done something wrong is because we've asked him, you know, what's going on. And we do the same thing with girls as well. But I don't know what happens to our society when it goes from 2 years old to like 10 to 12, 15,
Then they'll be
15,
like, oh,
16.
leave him.
It's okay, leave him. उन्ना इसकी किया पूछना रहने देना इसकी बेचारा.
It's the argument
It's
of
the-
like boys will be boys, isn't it?
Yeah,
In
and it's
English
always
culture as
like,
well.
like for example, if like the boys getting served roti first, while the women are slaving away in the kitchen. Why is that? And it's not something that's kind of outdated. It happens now in this society. Like it will happen. It will happen on Eid to everybody. I'm telling you. You can laugh about it, but this is gonna happen to you on Eid.
It's gonna happen to you
It's gonna happen to you in 2 weeks. All of you are gonna be in the kitchen slaving away, and the boys are gonna eat first. Why are they eating first?
Didn't you lot fast as well?
Didn't you guys fast?
Exactly.
And then nobody's gonna come and wash the dishes. Why they're not gonna wash the dishes? What's so special? Why? Because our ammas have put them on that pedestal that, oh yeah, because what we've done is we've literally given them roles, and then we're complaining when we get treated bad or our women get treated badly is because basically the men and women were here and our elderly women have put the men there, and now they're struggling that these men are treating the women that was one time equal to them badly. So when they're treating these lot badly, the women that are like, you know, already there, they're like, oh my god, how is he doing this? Oh, maine nahi iski sikhaya. And then they'll be like, maine nahi iski baya, ay Allah sa that is rakadavini, you know. But literally you've taught them this. You've taught them not through your words but through your actions. You've taught them, if you've given him the pehli roti, you've taught him that he is better than his sister who didn't get the pehli roti. If you've literally told his sister to get up and wash up and he didn't get up, that means he is better and his sister's not. If you've told his sister, oh jana prabhu ki khana dena,
Yeah.
jana prabhu ki khana de, right? You've literally, from your actions, you've shown your daughter that, oh, go get prabhu na khana, tomorrow she's gonna get pio na khana, and then after that she's gonna get jane na khana, right? You've literally put them in this, and then the audacity of being shocked when things go wrong.
Like, oh, why is he being like that to his wife?
like Isra da kadavi nahi karna si jilla asala rana si ta Isra, babe,
He always did that.
he always did that.
They'll do it, and then the mom's like, and what? That's normal. She should serve him. He's been served his whole life. Like, why do they treat the sons like a big king? And then, God forbid, all the women in his life die. He's gonna die as well.
Yeah,
He's not
because
gonna be
he
able to
won't
look
be.
after himself.
It's like that thing, like basically, you know, like